As evidenced by the news, there is an upsurge in gun violence in the country. I spoke with a former FBI agent who talked about the issue of gun control and how the debate on the topic becomes political and polarizes many in the country.
Nobody's out killing liberals or conservatives. These guys were just out killing our fellow citizens.
And I want to expand on our discussion on gun violence. I invited columnist and writer David Sirota, syndicated columnist Michelangelo Signorile, and Florida Republican Party Chair Jim Greer to help me flesh it out. You just heard the former FBI agent Greg McCurry talking about the political debate on gun control, saying it's people being killed, not conservatives nor liberals. And I asked my guests their thoughts.
I really don't think it's a conservative liberal issue. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. The Republican Party is a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. But we've got to find a solution to the issues where dangerous criminals are getting guns and they're hurting and killing people. I don't look to Europe to tell us how we should solve this crisis. I think we need to make sure that we have very thorough background checks, that we have very extensive gun laws.
Okay, hang on.
Sure.
Why not look to Europe?
Well,
because, and I'm going to get your response. I'm going to
Sure.
get you guys in here. Because when you look at gun violence in Europe, below the U.S., less guns in the U.S., they have problems too. They've had several of these mass killings. I think David Sirota said 9 in the past, 10 years you said, David? I just reeled
11
off,
in the past.
11 in the past 10 years. I just reeled off 5 or 6 in the past month. They've got to be doing something right.
Well, I can tell you one thing. When you travel to Europe, I was in Paris recently, and you look on the corner, and the police are carrying Uzis and machine guns on every other corner. So when we talk about Europe and how they're enforcing gun laws and so on, they have a different relationship with their citizens. They have armed police officers with assault rifles on every corner, on every street. So there's not a lot of people doing a lot of shooting right then because they get shot a lot quicker because of their approach to law enforcement.
And Michael, but in some places in Europe, and I've been there, the police officers don't even carry guns, and you see very little violence.
That's absolutely true. Look, the problem is the laws and the restrictions are very, very lax. And we now have assault weapons available in this country. We know that's the problem as well with Mexico and the drug gangs. We know that people have access to guns who shouldn't have guns. Certainly the Virginia Tech killer, his mental stability wasn't checked. And we have right now a real paranoia on the right that is whipping people up. We have Representative Michelle Bachmann. I'd like Mr. Greer to address this, a member of his party, saying our opposition needs to be armed and dangerous.
Okay.
We have 1.2 million background checks more in the last 4-month period because the right has been whipped up into thinking Barack Obama is going to take away their Second Amendment rights, and that's not true. We're talking about restrictions, not taking away all the guns.
I want to let David Sirota get in on this because, David, you were saying, that's not necessarily true. I think you may agree with Mr. Greer here to some point at least, because you're saying Europe has the same problem as us.
It's a mix here. This is a mix. I mean, I think our gun laws, the end of the assault weapons ban has been a very bad thing for our country. But I think simply saying that it's a problem only of our laws is not really getting to where this problem is. I mean, I used to live in Montana. It's got a very high prevalence of people owning guns and it's got a very, very low amount of gun violence. So the amount of guns and the access of to guns is only one part of this issue. There's the whole other issue of mental health, of people feeling alienated. I mean, we're a country that's under a severe amount of stress right now, and that is going to create a whole lot of problems. And I think one of those problems is this kind of thing that we're seeing. So it's a bunch of different issues, and if we're going to address it, we can't just say it's gun laws, or it's not gun laws, or it's a bunch of different things.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say this.
And I agree with that. I think that's very reasonable.
I'm looking country by country, and I'm just saying we have probably the worst problem than anyone else, and it's just the truth. If you look at the statistics, Japan, registration of firearms, yes. Singapore, yes. UK, yes. Netherlands, yes. Spain, yes. Germany, yes. Italy, yes. Israel, yes. Australia, yes. Canada, all guns by 2003, which will be a yes. Obviously, this is from 2002. France, yes, except sporting rifles. So Canada would be yes now. France would be yes. Switzerland, yes. Finland, yes. USA, handguns in some states. Licensing of gun owners in some states. Everybody else, yes. So what are we not getting?
Well, I don't think we need to look to those countries. I mean, you said registration. I mean, we have registration.
Well, it's registration and licensing.
Well, we need
Look,
to have strong enforcement of gun laws. We need to have strong enforcement of gun laws, thorough background checks. But our founding fathers were very clear. The citizens of this country should have the right to bear arms to ensure that they maintain a democratic society.
All right, I agree.
Don,
yes,
Don,
we
you
should have-
just
go
you
ahead.
just you just made all the sense in the world with the list. It makes complete sense. We have the most lax gun laws in the developed world, and we have the most violence. It's that simple. And the Second Amendment was not about people having assault weapons and being able to go out and shoot up a bunch of people.
Okay.
It has been distorted. We need the laws.
Mr. Greer, I'm going to give you the last word on this.
Sure, we need laws. I believe we should have very stringent laws on guns, and we should make sure that we do background checks on people that possess them and put people in jail that violate those gun laws. But we should not ban guns in this country. We should protect the Second Amendment to ensure that our government is not the only ones with guns.